Good morning, I'm Sarah Sapsanamba. Let's begin with the top stories this hour. The 2562nd Buddha Jayanti being observed today, commemorating Gautam Buddha as an apostle of world peace. Identity of Buddha's birthplace Lumbini yet to be established in international arena. Parliamentarians continue lobbying for annual 100 million rupees per electoral constituency in the name of development works. History has it that such funds have always been abused in absence of monitoring. Britain's Interior Minister Kevin Rudd resigns after the Prime Minister Theresa May's government faced criticism for its treatment of Caribbean residents wrongly as labelled illegal. And Barcelona defeats Deportivo La Coruna 4-2 to be crowned the La Liga champions for 25th time. Talisman Lionel Messi contributes hat-trick for Barca's win. The 2562nd Buddha Jayanti is being observed today, commemorating the day when Lord Buddha was born, attained enlightenment and died. The day falls on the full moon day as per the Nepalese month of Baisakh. Buddhists, along with people from all religious backgrounds throughout the world, celebrate the day, expressing reverence to Lord Buddha as a symbol of world peace. Devotees especially throng four major pilgrimage sites, Lumbini, Bodh Gaya, Rishipatan, Patan and Kushinagar on this day to pay their homage to Buddha. Lord Buddha was born in Lumbini and he attained enlightenment in Bodh Gaya. Meanwhile, President Vidyadevi Bhandari has extended her best wishes to all those who believe in messages of peace, non-violence, harmony on the occasion of Buddha Jayanti. Likewise, Vice President Pun said that the importance and relevance of Buddha's messages of peace and non-violence have further increased in the contemporary world. Similarly, expressing his best wishes on the occasion, Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has stated that Gautam Buddha remains a symbol of pride for all Nepalese. He said that Gautam Buddha made a huge contribution to human welfare after being born in Nepal. Meanwhile, a two-day international Buddhist conference issued a 10-point Lumbini declaration yesterday. Concluding the event, the 23 participating countries agreed to promote Lumbini as foundation of Buddhism and world peace as in the previous declaration issued in 2016. Now, although the Buddha Jayanti is observed with a lot of fanfare every year, the identity of Buddha's birthplace Lumbini is yet to be established in the international arena. With that, let's move on to the national political updates. The parliamentarians have been trying to take budget worth 100 million rupees every year to the electoral constituency in the name of development works. These types of budget, which have been distributed to the parliamentarians since the last 2 decades, are being misused. The amounts that have been misused have not even been monitored. In the fiscal year 2016-17, the budget amount the lawmakers took in the name of electoral constituency infrastructure development program was even spent on yoga camps. In the yoga camps held in Kathmandu, over 3 million rupees were shown as expenses. Likewise, a parliamentarian from Rupandehi had distributed 450,000 rupees 7 years ago for the purchase of computers for a youth club which did not even exist. This is the consequence of the lawmakers responsible for the formulation of laws and finding outlets for issues of national interest via discussions distributing funds from the national coffers for the projects of their benefit. The parliamentarians are abusing the budget also by distributing it to political parties and non-governmental organizations. In addition to that, ignoring the provision of selection of projects with the investment requirement of above 1 million rupees, they have been distributing funds to small projects of below 100,000 rupees. It has been found that funds are being abused from assisting the pilgrims to reach Baba Dham in Bihar, India, under the Bolbam journey to distribution of bicycles. Report of the Office of Auditor General has shown 810 million rupees outstanding for the past 19 years under this program. 500,000 rupees per parliamentarian was allocated since 2 decades for the Parliament Development Fund. Till last year, the fund has been increased for the elected lawmakers to 30 million, while the figure stands at 5 million for proportionate parliamentarians. The parliamentarians at the moment are lobbying for 100 million rupees for each constituency. A recent study has showed that 20 to 50 million rupees was spent in average per parliamentarian for the electoral victory. The question that now we face is whether the demand of parliamentarians for such large amount in budget is to compensate for the electoral expenses. Now, KP Sharma Oli-led government has a two-third majority at the parliament, but it has not been able to appoint the heads of constitutional bodies, including the Chief Justice. After the retirement of Gopal Parajuli, the Supreme Court has been headed by Acting Chief Justice for the last 1.5 months. The government has not even started the process of appointing the Chief Justice or the head of the Commission for the Investigation of Abuse of Authority, whose post has been vacant for the past 3 months. The government has been giving priority in improving relations with India by making mutual high-level visits, but the Nepalese embassy in New Delhi has been running without an ambassador for the past 6 months as well. The government has not been able to form the Financial Commission as well, which plays an important role in the implementation of federalism and distribution of finances. The KP Sharma Oli-led government has not been able to prioritize its working process, and questions have been raised at the efficiency of the government. Doubts have been raised whether the government, which has been formed almost 3 months ago, will spend most of its time visiting neighbor countries, welcoming foreign guests and inaugurating official programs. Now, the meeting of the Central Working Committee of Nepali Congress held to evaluate the party's performance at the elections has concluded after entering the whirlwind of a new debate. The discussions that spanned for 14 days failed to reach consensus on reasons for the loss suffered at the elections. Despite the claim of establishment of faction on unanimous decision, senior leader Ramchandra Paudel-led faction has said that the decision was bulldozed on the basis of majority. Likewise, youth leaders Gagan Thapa, Thanaraj Gurung and Pradeep Paudel, among others, termed the election evaluation incomplete and said that the case would be taken to the High Committee meeting. The discussion, which concluded with the decision of responsibility for the electoral losses to be soldiered by the Central Committee, also dissolved the Task Audit Committee and the Parliamentary Committee. The Central Working Committee meeting of Nepali Congress had commenced on 23rd of March to evaluate the party's performance at the elections. Upon the conclusion of the meeting, Congress President Sher Bahadur Deva has called the meeting of the elected central members and officials for this morning at 8 for the selection of office bearers. The faction led by senior leader Paudel is to boycott the same, having termed the decision arbitrary without consultation. The meeting also decided to form a committee within a week to investigate the corruption case related to the purchase of promotion materials during the election campaign. Kantipur television a week back had made public the corruption scandal of around 10 million rupees in purchase of the promotion materials for the election. 81 officials of 6 cooperatives have been blacklisted after failing to pay the amount they had taken from the Youth and Small Entrepreneurs Self-Employment Fund. The fund decided to blacklist them after it failed to recover the 120 million rupees in 6 years taken by the leaders and cadres of political parties in the name of unemployed youth. The cooperatives chaired by the leaders of major political parties appear in the forefront of the backlist. Loans taken by Himshikhar Savings and Credit Cooperative chaired by Maoist leader Shiva Katel, Mazdoor Sahid Smriti Cooperative also chaired by another Maoist leader Ganesh Regmi, Nepal Central Herbal Cooperative chaired by Bhakta Bahadur Shah, Madhuvan Savings Cooperative of Gulmi, Central Vegetables and Fruits Cooperative and Himalaya Finance Cooperative are yet to pay back the loan they had taken 6 years ago. A total of 81 individuals, including the officials and former officials of 6 cooperatives, have been blacklisted after they failed to pay the amount despite numerous efforts for recovery. Despite recently paying the 200,000 rupees taken by the current Province No. 3 Internal Affairs and Law Minister Shalikram Jamar Katel 6 years back, the amount was taken with him being the witness remains to be recovered. The Mazdoor Sahid Smriti Cooperative, of which Jamar Katel is a member, 45.2 million rupees of the 50 million remains to be recovered. In addition to that, 30 million rupees remain to be recovered by the Youth and Small Entrepreneurs Self-Employment Fund at the fund. The fund has said that the procedure for action has been expedited to exclude the officials of the cooperatives who took the amount in the pretext of unemployed youth and failed to make timely payments from the government facilities. The fund was established 9 years ago under the government led by the then Prime Minister Baburam Bhattarai with the objective of facilitating source of income for the deprived communities. However, issues have surfaced regarding the recovery as the fund was exploited arbitrarily because of political ties and influence. In conclusion, this issue makes evident the direct involvement of political leaders in the abuse of national coffers. Now, around 10% of the world population follow Buddhism. Most of the natives of China Japan and Korea, among other Southeast Asian nations, follow the religion as well. However, the identity of Lumbini, the birthplace of Lord Buddha and the center of faith of Buddhism, remains to be established across the planet. In this context, we had asked the locals in Butol, Hetauda and Dhangadi regarding why they think have we failed in reaping benefits by promoting the birthplace of Buddha. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
बुद्ध धर्मको बारेमा सबैलाई बुझाउन सकिरहेको छैन।
बुद्ध नेपालमै जन्मेका हुन् भनेर अलि आफूलाई के अरे देशलाई चाहिँ चिनाउने विषयमा चाहिँ अलि अगाडि भएकोले लानै पर्ने अलि बढी धेरै ध्यान दिएर दिनुपर्ने जस्तो चाहिँ मलाई लागिरहेको।
बुद्धको जुन सन्देशको विषयमा राम्रोसँग ज्ञान दिनुपर्ने जरुरी छ।
राजनीतिक अस्थिरता, यहाँको नेतृत्वको अस्थिरता नै मुख्य कारण हो।
यसको व्यवस्थापन गर्न सकेनन्। मान्छे आएर यहाँ 1 घण्टा कसरी बिताउने त? मन्दिर त छ, मन्दिर गयो त्यसपछि कहाँ जाने?
It's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
And your question is, why has the government with 2/3 majority not been able to make important appointments? Your options are A, lack of willpower, B, polarization in power sharing, and C, not in priority. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 8080 to share your opinion with us. It's now time for the international update. Britain's Interior Minister has resigned after Prime Minister Theresa May's government faced criticism for its treatment of some long-term Caribbean residents who were wrongly labelled illegal immigrants. A spokesman for May was not immediately available for comment, but a government official who spoke on condition of anonymity confirmed that the Home Secretary, Amber Rudd, had resigned. For 2 weeks, British ministers have been struggling to explain why some descendants of the so-called Windrush generation invited to Britain to plug labour shortfalls between 1948 and 1971 had been labelled as illegal immigrants. The Windrush scandal overshadowed the Commonwealth Summit in London and has raised questions about Theresa May's 6-year stint as Interior Minister before she became Prime Minister in the wake of 2016 Brexit referendum. Rudd had faced repeated calls from the opposition Labour Party to resign after she gave contradictory statements about meeting targets for deportations. Barcelona were crowned La Liga champions for the 25th time after defeating Deportivo La Coruna 4-2 yesterday with the help of a hat-trick from talisman Lionel Messi. Barca could have done with just a draw in yesterday's match to clinch the title and complete an 8th domestic double after winning the Kings Cup last week. However, they marched into 2-0 lead with goals from record signing Felipe Coutinho and top scorer Messi in the first half. Deportivo striker Lucas Perez pulled one back for Deportivo 5 minutes before half-time, and Turkish midfielder Emre Kolak levelled for Deportivo in the 64th minute. Struggling Deportivo came close to finding a winner and becoming the first team to beat Barca in the league this season. But Argentine maestro restored Barca's lead in the 82nd minute before completing his treble with his 32nd league goal of the season. Ernesto Valverde's unbeaten side have 86 points from 34 games, 11 clear of second place Atletico Madrid. World number 1 Rafael Nadal has lifted the Barcelona Open trophy for the record-extending 11th time. Nadal defeated Greek teenager Stefanos Tsitsipas 6-2, 6-1 in the finals held yesterday. The 19-year-old is the second youngest player in the ATP Top 100. He had reached the final without dropping a set, knocking out a world number 7 Dominic Thiem in the quarters and 11th ranked Pablo Carreño Busta in the semis to reach his first ATP final. It took Nadal 40 minutes to take first set with 6-2. Nadal eased further into the second set when he broke Tsitsipas to love in the third game and broke him again in the fifth. Tsitsipas held his serve to make a 5-2, but Nadal comfortably served out for the set, shouting "Vamos" when his opponent hit beyond the baseline to end it under 40 minutes. The Greek showed some of the fight which had led him to the final, but after spending an hour and 18 minutes as Tsitsipas found the net, Nadal clinched the title. This is Nadal's 55th title win in a clay court, while 77th of his career. Earlier last week, Nadal had won the Monte Carlo tennis tournament as well. Now, Kolkata Knight Riders defeated Royal Challengers Bangalore by 6 wickets in the match played under Indian Premier League last night. Bangalore lost the toss to bat first in Chinnaswamy Stadium, making 175 runs in the stipulated 20 overs, losing 4 wickets. Captain Virat Kohli stayed unbeaten at 68 runs, while Brendan Macomb contributed 38 runs for Bangalore. Likewise, Quinton de Kock added 29 runs, while Mandeep Singh made 19 runs. Towards bowling, Kolkata's Andre Russell took 3 wickets. In reply, Kolkata reached a victory target of 176 runs with 5 balls remaining. Chris Lynn remained unbeaten, contributing 62 runs, while Robin Uthappa scored 36 and Sunil Narine scored 27 runs to ease Kolkata through its win. Captain Dinesh Karthik contributed 23 runs of 10 balls. This is Kolkata's 4th win in 8 games so far in the Indian Premier League. For Bangalore, it was a 5th loss in 7 matches. In an earlier match played yesterday under the Indian Premier League, Sunrisers Hyderabad had defeated Rajasthan Royals by 11 runs. Chennai Super Kings will be up against Delhi Daredevils in the match slated for today. Now, Manang Marshangdi Club and 3-Star Club are locking horns at the finals of My Valley Gold Cup today in Ilam. Both the teams have said they are well prepared for the title decider, which will be played at Tallo Tunikil. Managers of both the sides are confident of their team's victory. 3-star manager Meghraj Casey said that Manang could never be underestimated. Speaking at the pre-match press conference, Casey said that 3-star had reached Ilam to win the title and also termed Manang a good team. He claimed that his team would play to win the title. He further went on to add that the match between Manang and 3-star was the Nepalese version of El Clasico. Having won 5 tournaments played outside of Kathmandu last season, 3-star was the second most successful team, only behind Army, who had won 7 titles. Having seen off Armies in the semis, Manang is aiming to begin the season with an optimistic note. 3-star had progressed to the tournament finale, having seen off Armed Police Force in the semi-finals. Manang, led by Biraj Maharjan, boasts of 7 national team players, while Nirajan Khadka-led 3-star includes 5 players representing the national team. Manang does not have a good record considering the previous season. Out of 5 tournaments, Manang had lost most matches, and therefore is prepared with a strategy to put brakes on 3-star club at any cost. The winners of the tournament will bag 500,000 rupees in cash prize along with the trophy. And those were the latest headlines. Our next English bulletin will be at 11 a.m. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.